The Marvel Cinematic Universe has had 23 films over the course of its 3 phases, and each one of these movies has a main villain, with some of them actually having 2. In this video, I will be looking at each one of these villains and ranking them from least to most powerful in their respective film. I'll go over their powers, or lack thereof, and say why I think they deserve to be in the place they're at on the list. So without further ado, let's begin the list with number 25. Oh, and I should mention that there are spoilers for Spider-Man Far From Home here, so if you don't know who the main villain is, then you probably shouldn't watch this video and watch the movie first.
I've thought about nothing else for over a year. I studied you. I followed you. But now that you're standing here, I just realized there's a bit of green in the blue of your eyes. How nice to find a flaw.
There is a reason why the main villain of Captain America Civil War never got into any fight scenes, and all the fight scenes were between the Avengers, and that's because he has no powers. Helmut Zemo has no abilities, no powers, he has no position of power either. He's just a regular guy who's actually very, very smart, a very good planner, but he is at the bottom of the list, despite the fact that I think he's a pretty good villain, because he serves no physical threat. He has no powers at all, so for this list, he's definitely at the bottom.
Just a matter of time before a dirty bomb goes off in Moscow or an EMP fries Chicago. Diplomacy? Holding action, Nick. Band-Aid. And you know where I learned that.
Similarly to Helmut Zemo, the main villain of Captain America the Winter Soldier, Alexander Pierce, is powerless, and he wasn't in any fight scenes except for the one where he was being beaten up. He is a little bit higher than Helmut Zemo, and the only reason for that is because while he doesn't have any powers himself, he does have technical power, and that's he has control over S.H.I.E.L.D. and control over Project Insight, which does make him a very powerful person, but for, compared to the characters who have actual powers, that I'm not considering, but against Helmut Zemo, he is technically a lot more powerful, so I'm going to put him higher.
Hey, Pedro.
Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture, the main villain of Spider-Man Homecoming, is technically powerless himself, but he does have the Vulture suit, which gives him a couple powers, like he can fly, he has superhuman strength, superhuman durability, superhuman agility, all which allow him to go up against Spider-Man and hold his own.
Anything new?
No.
You have to let go of the past.
I don't remember my past.
It's causing you doubt, and doubt makes you vulnerable.
Yon-Rogg is a lot less powerful than the main hero of that movie, which is why there was even a joke where he was taken out so easily, but he is a little bit more powerful than the characters we've seen so far. He has the Kree physiology, so he's a lot stronger than a regular human being, he's more durable, and he has higher agility. He also has a healing factor, and he has a gravity manipulation gun, which gives him a little bit higher of a place on this list than every character we've seen so far.
Dad, are you seeing this?
Ava Starr, aka Ghost, the main villain of Ant-Man and the Wasp, has a couple of abilities due to her connection to the quantum realm. These abilities include super strength, she can become invisible, and she can become intangible, as well as phase through walls and things like that, basically like a ghost.
Tiff. You got no idea. Heaven Day.
Johann Schmidt, the leader of Hydra and otherwise known as Red Skull, the main villain of Captain America the First Avenger, took a super soldier serum prototype that gave him very similar abilities to Captain America: enhanced intelligence, strength, durability, speed, agility, stamina, and a healing factor, all on par with Captain America, and we've seen the feats of Captain America. Red Skull can probably do something similar, making him a very, very powerful person.
You're my friend. You're my mission.
Bucky Barnes, also known as the Winter Soldier, the main villain of the movie that is named after him, has been enhanced by Hydra. He has enhanced strength, superhuman durability, superhuman speed, agility, stamina, reflexes, and a bionic arm that is even more powerful than his regular punches and his regular arm, as well as a healing factor, also kind of on par with Captain America, as he was able to hold his own in Captain America the Winter Soldier against his old friend.
Company from nothing. And nothing is gonna stand in my way.
The first main villain in the MCU ever, Obadiah Stane, aka Ironmonger, has kind of his own version of an Iron Man suit, which is definitely not as powerful as Iron Man suits we've seen recently, or maybe even not as powerful as the original Iron Man suit, the one Iron Man wore at the end of Iron Man, because, I mean, he was defeated in it. Like, he's not as fast, particularly, he's not as durable, I don't think, and also doesn't have blasts at all, but he is super strong, he can fly, and his suit is super durable, making him fairly powerful, just not as powerful as Iron Man himself. Whiplash also had an Iron Man suit at the end of Iron Man 2, with all the same abilities as the Ironmonger suit: super strength, super durability, flight. This one's definitely a lot faster, and is also higher because he has added energy whips that make him a lot more powerful than Ironmonger, which is why it took Iron Man and War Machine to defeat him.
Well, here we are, on the roof.
The third Iron Man villain in a row on this list, Aldrich Killian, aka the Mandarin, the main villain of Iron Man 3, is also a little bit more powerful than the other two Iron Man villains that he came after. He has super strength, super agility, and a healing factor that can generate basically anything. He can basically manipulate the body temperature of his body, so if he touches something with his finger, like he does in this clip right here, he can burn it, and also he has fire breath, which he rarely uses, but he definitely is a little bit more powerful than Whiplash or Ironmonger, making him the most powerful villain of any Iron Man movie. The main villain of the first Ant-Man movie, Darren Cross, aka Yellow Jacket, is a lot more powerful than the main villain of the second Ant-Man movie. Yellow Jacket has very similar powers to Ant-Man, although he can't control ants, and instead he has energy pulse stingers. He also can't grow large as far as we've seen, but he can fly. He's also super strong when he is shrunk, and obviously he can shrink himself to the size of an ant, but probably a lot smaller than that. The main villain of Spider-Man Far From Home, Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, is a hell of a lot more powerful than the main villain of Spider-Man Homecoming. His physical holographic projection, or his illusion tech, is capable of basically doing whatever he wants. He can trick anybody into believing that they are anywhere, and the only reason Spider-Man was able to defeat him is because of his spider sense, making Spider-Man the perfect hero to take out Mysterio. Maybe Daredevil can as well, but there aren't a lot of characters who would be able to defeat Mysterio in a fight because of his illusion tech that can basically do anything. Like, he was able to put Spider-Man in front of a train just because he wanted to. He could do that to anybody and it wouldn't really be a problem. That's why I think Mysterio or Quentin Beck is a very powerful villain that if Spider-Man didn't have a spider sense, probably wouldn't be able to defeat. Eric Killmonger, the main villain of Black Panther, basically has all the same abilities as Black Panther himself due to the herb that these two characters have. He has enhanced strength, durability, speed, agility, stamina, reflexes, as well as a bulletproof vibranium suit. The suit is definitely a huge part of why he's so high on the list. The vibranium suits are incredibly powerful. There's not a lot of people that can dent them. There are not a lot of people that can damage these characters and Killmonger as well, which is why he is rather high on the list, with every character above him being incredibly powerful. Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination, the main villain of the Incredible Hulk and the second main villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe overall, is a fairly powerful character, almost as powerful as the Hulk himself. Super strength, super durability, super speed, super stamina, as well as a healing factor that in the comics is basically able to heal from anything. We haven't seen much of it in the movies, but I'm guessing the healing factor for the Hulk and the Abomination is pretty damn powerful. He also has retractable spikes that can help him in a fight, making him a pretty powerful threat, almost as powerful as the Hulk himself. Caecilius is a more experienced sorcerer than Doctor Strange, so it's safe to say that he is more powerful, and the only reason Doctor Strange was able to defeat him is because Doctor Strange had the Time Stone, while Caecilius didn't, and he had no Infinity Stone at all. Caecilius has manipulation over Aldridge magic as well as dark dimensional magic. He has a sling ring, so he can teleport as well as interdimensional travel, and basically anything we've seen Doctor Strange do, except for anything that has to do with the Time Stone, Caecilius can probably do as well, but he can definitely do the things that I mentioned already, and what we've seen in Doctor Strange. Being a frost giant, Loki is a lot more powerful than the average human being, obviously. Super strong, super durable, he has super speed and agility and a super stamina as well as a healing factor, and longevity. He's like 5,000 years old or something, but on top of that, he is somewhat of a magician. He has illusion manipulation, he could shapeshift, presence, concealment, so he can make it so that nobody knows you're there, so that you're invisible and you're silent, as well as telekinesis, making him a pretty powerful main villain, but he's not as powerful as himself a couple of years later, or actually 1 year later.
Is that the best you can do?
You had to ask.
ULTRON is a pretty powerful villain with super strength, super durability, super stamina, gravity manipulation, concussion beams, mind transfer, as well as a whole army of Ultron bots, and he's made of vibranium, which means he's an incredibly durable and incredibly powerful character. He's lower on the list than a couple other characters, as well as certain villains of movies that had a lot less members of the Avengers to defeat them, because he was defeated by Vision and a single Infinity Stone, and basically anybody else who has an Infinity Stone, which is a couple of villains, pretty much have to be higher than ULTRON. Loki is one of two villains in the MCU that was a main villain in two different movies, but here in the Avengers, he's certainly a lot more powerful than he was in Thor. He has all the same abilities: super strength, durability, speed, agility, stamina, a healing factor, longevity, illusion manipulation, shapeshifting, presence, concealment, and telekinesis, but he also has one huge factor that gives him a lot more power, which is the Mind Stone in his scepter, which gives him basically a mental manipulation. He can control anybody's mind as long as he puts the scepter on their chest. I don't know why it's limited to that, but it seems like it is, and he could shoot energy blasts. He also has the Space Stone, which means he could open a portal to anywhere in the universe, so he's certainly a lot more powerful than himself in Thor.
You call me boy!
Without the Power Stone, Ronan is still pretty damn powerful with super strength, super durability, super agility, and a healing factor, but with the Power Stone, he is one of the most powerful villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Power Stone has been said to be able to destroy entire planets with its power, and also it has energy blasts that can be pretty helpful, making him powerful enough to go up against the entirety of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Although they were able to defeat him in the end, it's only because they tricked him. If he wasn't tricked, he probably could have destroyed the entire planet, making him an incredibly powerful villain.
You know, with all that power, I thought you'd head harder.
Malekith is obviously a lot stronger than a normal person. He's super strong, super durable, he has a healing factor and longevity, but it's the Reality Stone that makes him so high on the list. The Reality Stone gives him the ability to project energy, he does have energy blast, he can teleport through portals, he can manipulate matter, size, and reality in general. It also gives him enhanced stuff like he is powerful enough now to go up against Thor, and with the Reality Stone and with, or what he calls it, the Ether, he would have been able to destroy the entire universe because of something called the Convergence, and although it's not exactly him himself alone, it still means he's an incredibly powerful villain.
It's not possible.
Darling, you have no idea what's possible.
Being an Asgardian, Hela is incredibly powerful, but it's pretty surprising how powerful she is, considering she doesn't have any Infinity Stones, and she is higher than a couple villains who do. Hela has super strength, super durability, super speed, super agility, and super stamina, all which make her able to go up against Thor, and she is more powerful than Thor. She was able to destroy Mjolnir, and that was not even at the height of her power, as she wasn't in Asgard. She could also manipulate life and death in necromancy. She could also manifest weapons, structures, and armor, making her more powerful than Thor, making her one of the most powerful main villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Dormammu's abilities are certainly less clear than basically anybody else on this list, but it's pretty clear that he is incredibly powerful. He can manipulate Dark Dimension, he has Power Bestow as well as superhuman strength and immortality. He was able to kill Doctor Strange over and over and over again with ease, and Doctor Strange couldn't really do anything about it. Strange being one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that is pretty impressive, but the only reason Strange was able to defeat Dormammu is using the Time Stone, but now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that the Time Stone is not even a thing. Dormammu can probably return and be an Avengers level threat, and can definitely be one of the most powerful villains we've seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as he probably already is.
Live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Thanos in Endgame feels more powerful than Thanos in Infinity War because he's able to take on Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America by himself. That's basically two Thors and Iron Man at his most powerful by himself, but still, he's definitely not as powerful as Thanos in Infinity War, as he, for the most part, doesn't have the Infinity Stones or the Infinity Gauntlet, or when he does, he's stopped from using them. Thanos is definitely incredibly strong and durable, incredibly fast. He has very fast agility and reflexes, a healing factor, and longevity, making him powerful enough to take on the entirety of the Avengers, even without the Infinity Stones, and with the Infinity Stones, he's able to take on Captain Marvel as well, but he's certainly not as powerful as Thanos in Infinity War, who had Infinity Stones the entirety of the movie, and in the end, had all of them and actually used them.
I wanted to do this together. And I suppose you'll have to learn by spending the next 1,000 years as a battery.
Ego is what's known as a Celestial, one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful groups of beings in the universe. Ego has super strength, super durability, immortality, molecular manipulation, matter manipulation, flight, energy manipulation, where you can create light tentacles, light beams, light form, basically anything out of energy, hypnosis, inducement, biological manipulation, reconstruction, and shape-shifting abilities, as well as power drawing and seedling creation, so he can create offspring of himself. He can create more Celestials, and the only reason he was able to be defeated is because Star-Lord, who was half Celestial himself, was able to help defeat him. But Ego was certainly one of the most powerful villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think is the most powerful main villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe without the aid of Infinity Stones.
You should have gone for the head.
Thanos in Infinity War is basically omnipotent. He can do anything. He starts off the movie with 2 Infinity Stones, the Space Stone and the Power Stone, I'm pretty sure. But then over the course of the movie, he gets others, the Reality Stone, Time Stone, Mind Stone, Soul Stone, making him the most powerful character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. With these stones, he can manipulate Earth, he can absorb energy, as well as transform energy. He has death inducement, meaning he can just kill anybody with the snap of his fingers, which is literally what he did. Manipulate energy, induce pain, energy detonation, energy projection, energy conversion, portal creation, vortex creation, spatial pressure generation, intangibility, force field generation, dimensional negation, illusion conjuration, invisibility, matter transmutation, as well as biological manipulation, and soul identification, soul containment, and time manipulation. He's basically omnipotent. That's only a list of things that we've seen him do, but with all the Infinity Stones, he can basically do anything, and that's on top of the abilities that he already had, like Thanos in Endgame, super strength, durability, speed, agility, reflexes, healing factor, and longevity, making him able to go up against basically the entirety of the Avengers by himself. And then he also has all the Infinity Stones. So that is my ranking for all of the main villains in the Arrowverse. So that is my ranking for all the main villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe based off their power. If I got something wrong, then let me know in the comments down below if I did. And if I did get something wrong, then what do you think the list should be? Let me know some other ideas you want me to make videos about in the comments. And if you like this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.